Back in the late 80s, Skid Row was lumped in with the other glam bands like Poison and Warrant, but in my opinion, they were more of a traditional metal band. I would compare them to other heavy metal bands and rock bands of the late 80s and early 90s. I think their sound would be closer to mid-80s Judas Priest as opposed to like a Bon Jovi, but I think Skid Row were known for their energetic performances and these really powerful vocals, especially with Sebastian Bach. Despite having Billboard Top 10 hits with power ballads like 18 in Life and I Remember You, this band really kept that heavy metal sound. It had this really distinct sound, and they were different than the other glam metal bands. So today I'm talking about the self-titled debut album by Skid Row. It was released on January 24th, 1989. Through Atlantic Records, it is celebrating 35 years. The album was recorded in 1988 at Royal Recorders in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, with producer Michael Wagener. The band formed in 1986 in Toms River, New Jersey. Originally consisted of guitarist Dave Sabo, bassist Rachel Bolan, guitarist Scotti Hill, and drummer Rob Affuso. Sebastian Bach came into the band later as a lead vocalist. The original lead vocalist of Skid Row was Matt Fallon, but he was replaced. I think the original manager said he just wasn't a good singer, so they told the band to replace him. He said, you got to get rid of this guy and get someone new because he's kind of keeping you back. There's actually a pretty cool documentary on Paramount Plus. It's called I Wanna Rock, so if you want to watch like the first episode, they talk more about that in detail. But Sebastian Bach, he's became very well known, and he really became part of the band's lineup, and he really made the band successful. I think it was because of him. So the album had 3 singles: Youth Gone Wild, 18 in Life, and I Remember You. They all got heavy rotation on MTV. The album peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200 and certified 5 times platinum in 1995. And that's for 5 million copies in the U.S. Skid Row was also kind of linked to Bon Jovi. They opened for them on their Jersey Syndicate tour. And the album's commercial and critical success kind of made Skid Row a regular feature in like rock magazines. They were on the covers, and then they kind of got the band to be very popular. So there's actually a connection between Skid Row and Bon Jovi. And it's pretty big. I think Skid Row's guitarist and co-founder Dave Snake Sabo was a friend of Jon Bon Jovi, and then this friendship kind of led to Bon Jovi helping Skid Row get their first record contract. Bon Jovi also kind of took Skid Row as their opening act, as I just mentioned before, and Jon Bon Jovi was also kind of like a mentor to the band in their early days. But however, as Skid Row's fame began to rise, they started to develop some tensions between the two bands. Sebastian Bach, he was always kind of like a problem. He really had that personality and the big ego, and supposedly Skid Row's merchandise was outselling that of Bon Jovi, so Jon Bon Jovi got jealous. He confronted him, and then this kind of leads to lots of incidents. They would play pranks on each other. They would exchange angry words, and there would be like physical confrontations. But despite these tensions, Sebastian Bach just said that Jon Bon Jovi took a chance on him, and he remains indebted to him for that. And supposedly they reconciled. They met by chance at a London bar in 2006, and they all made up, and they kind of like said water under the bridge, that kind of thing. So I'm going to talk about the songs. I want to focus on the first 2 lead singles. They were the first ones I listened to. I also feel a special connection to them. First song is called Youth Gone Wild. It's the debut single. The first time I heard this was it premiered on Headbangers Ball back in 1989. I went out, I bought the CD like right afterwards. And the song just became and remains like the band's like defining anthem. It just like describes the feeling of the narrator being a problem child to the wider society around him. It kind of speaks to the fact that he was not the first and won't be the last problem child in the streets. I really love the line. They talk about Park Avenue leads to Skid Row. Love that line. And the song also kind of holds a special place in the heart of Sebastian Bach. I think that was like the reason for him like joining the band. I think Skid Row wanted Bach to join the band. They sent him a cassette with a bunch of songs on it, and he said Youth Gone Wild was his favorite. So Bach believed the song had like so much of that like energy, and he loved the phrase Youth Gone Wild, and he actually got a tattoo of it even before he got a record deal or anything like that. So that's pretty cool history. And the song Youth Gone Wild is about being true to yourself, not having to do what other people tell you or what they expect you to do. It's just a sentiment that 20-year-old Sebastian Bach could really relate to, and just an awesome song. So let me go on to 18 in Life, probably my personal favorite. I was 18 years old at that time, back in 1989. I remember the music video vividly for me, and I always thought of it being like a cautionary tale about making harsh decisions that can like ruin your life in an instant. I was never that crazy when I was 18. I was pretty shy and timid, but it was a pretty cool song. Just I really loved it. And this was also released in June of 1989. That's like the exact month I turned 18. So I also felt the connection that way as well. So this song tells the story of Ricky, an 18-year-old. He accidentally kills someone with a gun while drunk and results in a life sentence in jail. And it was inspired by a local newspaper article that Dave Snake Sabo read about, an 18-year-old boy who accidentally shot his friend, thinking that the gun wasn't loaded. But actually, Dave said in an interview that it was originally inspired by his brother Rick coming home from Vietnam, and then as he was writing it, it kind of like developed into being about this accidental murder. So the song became their biggest hit. It's number 4 on the Billboard US Hot 100 and the number 11 on the Billboard Album Rock Tracks chart, and certified gold on September 13, 1989. So let's talk about the other songs. I'll go through the rest of the songs quickly just to keep this under 10 minutes. Big Guns, really a great classic heavy metal song, kind of narrator describing experiences seeing a woman on the subway, kind of common theme in the 80s. Great opening track, and the guitar playing is great in this. Sweet Little Sister, song has a similar theme as Big Guns. It's a woman who has the appearance of being innocent but has a wild side, and that was my interpretation of it. It's catchy, it's a glam metal song, and another good one. Can't Stand a Heartache, another one. This is a solid album. All songs are great, but it's another glam metal, but it's a heavy song. So lyrics about suffering a broken heart, a common theme, and it kind of reminded me of maybe like something from like Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction, like that type of sound. Piece of Me, and this one is pretty heavy. I think it's kind of a foreshadowing of their like Slave to the Grind sound when they released their second album and got very heavier. I really like this one, and has a really great bass guitar intro. Then there's Rattlesnake Shake. This is like sleaze rock. There were like other bands that actually had the same song title name, so it was actually, I looked it up, it was like Motley Crue had a Rattlesnake Shake song, and Fleetwood Mac and Aerosmith did a cover of Fleetwood Mac with the same song. But anyway, very dirty, sleazy guitar sound, and just a really great guitar solo in this one. Here I Am, another one. This is a really great song with a sing-along chorus. I like the groove in this one. I think it's a good track. Now, like I was saying before, there's like no weak songs in this album, and just guitar solo is really good. It reminds me a lot of Aerosmith. Making a Mess, this is another one I enjoy. It has like heavy, sleazy type of sound. It really captures from this time period, and I guess has really got a great chorus, and just like the guitar playing. And there's another ballad called I Remember You. This was also released as a single, and this one was actually another big hit. I think it reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. So that was pretty big, and I always loved the song. It's just one of those songs I sing along to, and I just know all the lyrics, so it's a really great song, and it has that classic like guitar solo, so that's awesome. And the last track, Midnight Tornado, pretty underrated track. It's a little darker, has some catchy chorus, the backing vocals are really good. Got those harmonized leads in the second half of the song that kind of reminded me of like a Judas Priest kind of thing. And then the last part, I guess it's the instrumental where they call it Tornado. It's Just a really good way to close the album. So that's all. If you're a fan of Skid Row, check out my review of their latest album, The Gang's All Here. I'll just stick that one right there. Came out in the end of 2022. That's a really great album, by the way. And please like this video. It helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Please subscribe if you have not already. Please leave a comment. I will see you in the next one.